Boss bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And we're gonna get into motherfucking Mars. Mars alignments. Because Mars is your fight. Mars is your passion. Mars is how people gonna see your true intentions, your alternative motives. Now, you can keep this hidden if you're a person who like to play on the feminine side of Mars, but if you're a person who like to play on the masculine part of Mars, then you're a person who likes to express that. You actually wear your alternative motives. So even if you're not trying to express it, if you just into that passion, people can see your true intentions on you. But if you're more strategic and things of that nature, and you like to utilize Mars on the feminine side, then you may not show all your passions. You may not show all your desires. People may not know your true intentions. But behind the scenes, you know your true alternative motives, and you know what you're passionately involved in, whether the person, place, or thing you're participating in at the moment going to qualify for that or not. And then that's how you use the feminine side of Mars. So for the most part, that's getting into that energy signature. Now, when we talk about the actual signs itself and the alignments, now the alignments is going to play out as adjusting the characteristics. So you got your basic character, which is your sun, moon, and your ascendant. And then Mercury through Pluto kind of adjust your characteristics. Because if your character and your personality is basically your sun, moon, and your ascendant, your sun is your wants, your moon is your needs, your ascendant is your personality. So for the most part, what you want to be seen and how you want to be seen and the things that you see yourself getting into and how you act and what you pay attention to is going to be back to supported by your wants. What is that? Your sun. And the things that you react to and respond to, what makes you feel comfortable and your true state of being and that energy signature that makes you, that represents that motherly energy, that energy that you run towards when you want to feel comfortable and shit. You know what I'm saying? And anytime somebody pull you away from that energy signature, you start to get moody and shit might get highly volatile. Now that'll be your motherfucking moon sign because that's your needs. So anytime you're around an energy signature that you don't need or shit that don't represent your state of being, you start feeling uncomfortable. So you see what I'm saying? That's your moon sign. Then your personality throughout it all, how you look, how you appear to be, how you dress up your wants and your needs. Basically your sun is your actions and your moon is your reactions. How those look, how those appear to be, how people see those things is basically your awareness, your appearance, your personality. So that's how we get it in when we talk about the sun, moon, and ascendant. And then when we got Mercury through Pluto, this kind of adjust your characteristics because your character is your sun, moon, and your ascendant. So one of your adjustments you're going to have is your anger, your passion, your aggression, but also your ability to fight, your willpower, your ability to have certain type of passion or that inner fire to actually express what you have going on internally, aka will something into this existence. So that's what Mars going to represent. And how you actually do that is the alignment, aka the alignment it have with your other planets. So keep that in mind. Let me hit this motherfucker before I go out on this motherfucker, because I ain't trying to have this motherfucker and me keep lighting this motherfucker. I'm already lit. We don't need the lighter to keep lighting this shit. Now, do the 360. Now, let's start off with Mars and the Sun. Now, if you got Mars conjunct the Sun, then this means this is what people gonna see from you. People see your passion. Because look, the Sun is your like positive charge, and then the moon is your negative charge. So you can kind of see, you can kind of look at it like this. The Sun is what you give out, and the moon is kind of what you receive. So if you got the Sun conjunct Mars, then what's being seen from you based upon your actions, what's being seen when you start to express how you view things, what other people are consciously aware from you, and kind of how you adjust what you see in the world is going to be Mars-like shit. Back to supported by intent, passion, motivation, desires, your goals. You see what I'm saying? That's what people see from you, and that's how you see things. So a lot of times, just how you act may be aggressive at times, or maybe passionate, or maybe intuitive, or every time you act upon something, you give off this energy signature that you got some kind of alternative motive, or you got some type of other intent. Whether that's good or positive, that's going to be based upon your other alignments and what houses they're in. But for the most part, just the natural awareness of the Sun conjuncting Mars, this is what's being seen from you. So Mars is an energy that you have natural power to. So before you take too much power and control over that energy, learn how to be passive a little bit so you create that balance. Because be too power controlling and being too passive can lead you down the same road. So learn how to complete like a little balance between not being too passive and not being too overwhelming, but showing both of those attributes when the time is needed. Because with comes great power comes great responsibility. Now, when we got we're just gonna run down the alignments down to down. We ain't gonna do each planet. We're gonna run down the alignment. Now, say you got Mars conjunct the moon. So if you got Mars conjunct the moon off the bat, this is what you feel comfortable. This is the energy you resonate with. This is what you like to react and respond to. You like to react and respond to high volatile moments. When I say high volatile, that doesn't necessarily mean negative, but it could just mean high excited moments, or a lot of times super low vibrational moments. But you rather react to these things. You don't like to just react to just regular mundane, regular surface level, mid-level type things. You like to resonate with shit either way up here or way down here, but as long as it's volatile and it's a wave itself, that's what you like to participate in. Something you can roller coaster ride your spirit in real quick. And this is like the shit you like to react to. So even if you are a person in school or you in a type of relationship, if you got Mars conjunct your moon, you like to react and respond to passionate people, people who have passion, people who have motivation. If you're around people who are like super laxed, super practical, super logical, every time you're trying to see these people in action, but these people in action is more of talking and more analyzing and planning and constructing, that can frustrate you. You'll start to get moody around these kind of people. So you need to be around people like, especially you need to be around people like me if you got the moon conjunct Mars, because right there I'm gonna spark that energy and you like, oh shit, and you react and respond to how I'm even moving and how I probably do my day to day. So people like that, you just have to make sure that you're not being, now you're not reacting and responding to too much negativity or too much passion, because you're putting a lot of anger or putting a lot of aggression on your heart, and that never plays out well. Even if your goals is trying to do something positive, being too willed in or too indulged into a certain energy signature is never good into anything. You're gonna have to learn how to do moderation into anything. I don't give a fuck if you didn't find the way how to get $1 million every week. Don't go overexhaust yourself in trying to do that, because it will lead out bad. You need to learn how to balance every frequency vibration that you are expanding and contracting in on your spiritual growth. So that's Mars conjunct moon. Now, say you got Mars conjunct the Ascendant. So this is your personality. This is how you handle your personal issues. You handle it with fierceness. You handle it with fire. You handle it with passion, with intentions. And you don't like anybody else trying to come passionately change or try to change your motive on your personal issues also. Remind you, personal issues isn't always negative. They can be positive too. A personal issue is you got to go make some money. You know what I'm saying? That's an issue to you. It may not be an issue to someone else because they may not know how to go get it. So for the most part, that's still an issue. See, people get things fucked up when they use words, and based upon man and women interpretations of them, we get lost in that aspect. But for the most part, you need to know that that's just what it means. So getting into the scenario when you want to talk about Mars is the passion, the motivation. So for the most part, when it's conjuncting the moon, this is how you react. Make sure you're not reacting to too much negativity and responding to too much high aggressive things, because you may be a fighter, but you may be picking the wrong fights a lot of times also. So be aware of that. Now, Mars conjunct Mercury. Now, here's the thing with Mars conjunct Mercury. This makes an aggressive, fast talker. So if you got Mars conjunct Mercury, this makes it a fast, aggressive talker. So you probably talk faster than everybody around you. But the things that you kind of always talk about and communicate about is shit like that's dealing with what you're passionate about, your motivations, your desires, your intentions. These are the things you like to communicate about. So you may even inspire others based upon your ideas, because you got imaginative, creative ideas, fiery ideas, soldier-like ideas. And when I say soldier-like, when it's pertaining to Mars, this could be female or men-like. But soldier-like, when you see soldiers, that's just a manifestation of some spiritual shit in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension anyway. What's actually going on is The ability to will in what you want to will in without being washed and washed up by the currents of what other people believe in, aka what other people imagine, aka what other people are creating, aka, and if it's a collective conscious agreeing on one thing, you know what I'm saying, you may lack willpower on going against that wave with your own imagination. And that plays out into many different scenarios in your day-to-day life. You could be a person in a specific neighborhood doing whatever you're doing, and since you see a bunch of other people getting from point A to point B before you will hold aside your own willpower just for the sake of thinking that everybody agree with this way of doing something. So if I was to do what I truly want to do, I'd probably be looked at as stupid or something like that. So you start to get washed up in social algorithms and shit like that, to the point that literally in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, your spirit getting washed up in frequency vibrations, washed up in other currents, other bodies of water, and you need to create your own boat so you don't be getting washed up and flooded to the point that you just drowning in life. So you got to keep that in mind, emotionally drowning. But when we got Mars conjunct Mercury, this makes a person has the power of being able to think and add ideas to goals, motivations, passions, alternative motives, intentions. And these people, they might be manipulative also because they know how to speak and get what they desire, but they may do it in a hidden way, like because they may have an alternative motive. Their alternative motive is to get the desire, but they know how to use the words to get the desire out of the person that they're in front of. So real hustlers got Mars conjunct Mercury also, so keep that in mind. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think Donald Trump got it, but goddamn it, motherfuckers like Donald Trump got that shit. I gotta look at that though. Now when we talk about that was Mars conjuncted Mercury. So make sure you're not thinking too aggressively also. Make sure you're being a little practical, because you can be a little irrational also with Mercury conjuncting Mars. It could lead into a bunch of thinking irrational, and because you're so much thinking about your goals and your passions, you forget the people around you or what you need to analyze and construct in order for your goal to play out in the way in your favor. Otherwise, you may be thinking too hard about doing what you passionately do and forget how it's affecting people, places, and things around you, and then you end up being perceived into a downfall type of scenario. Just going on your passions and not aligning anybody else's logically or rationally with your perspective on that. And that's what Mars like to do, and what Mercury like to do. And when it's sharing Mars, they sharing space, it's like Mars like, man, do this, do that, do that. And it's forcing Mercury to move a lot more faster than it naturally likes to move. So keep that in mind also. Now when we talk about Mars conjunct Venus. Now, Mars conjunct Venus. Now, this is a person who's passionately involved with the things that they're indulged into. Now, that can lead into people, places, and things. And the things you indulge into, it started from something that you loved, appreciated, valued, or something you was willing to compromise with. So, you know what I'm saying? When you got Mars here, you're passionately involved into this. And a lot of times you can be overwhelming within your relationships, or you could be overwhelming or go too far and go aggressively too far when it comes to the things you indulge into, to the point that they become habits and you forget the point to do things in moderation. So therefore, you put yourself in a circumstance, a situation where you even get angry when you're not surrounded by the energy signature of the things that you love, appreciate, and value and relate to. So a lot of Mars conjunct Venus signs, try not to kill any of your partners either when you can't be around them at the time that you want to be around them. And you may have been so overwhelming, they may feel relaxed more when they're around other people. And if in this scenario it calls for this person cheating on you, you need to make sure you don't put yourself in a scenario where you kill this person by having Mars conjunct Venus. You see what I'm saying? Now we're going to talk about, goddamn, see, this is what I'm talking about. Now we're going to talk about Mars conjunct motherfucking Jupiter. Now, Mars conjunct Jupiter. Now, here's the thing with Mars conjunct Jupiter. This makes a person passionate about the experiences that they go through. So every experience that they go through, whether it's extracting wisdom or knowledge or placing new meanings and reasonings behind things, they may do this a little aggressively, but they do this passionately also. So a lot of times this may be a person who get angry and maybe get aggressive towards you if you try to give them some type of advice or gives them some type of wisdom or knowledge. But reason why they like that in the first place is because these people are passionately involved into the things that they're learning, into experiencing. And Jupiter's experiences, whether they're bad or good in general, because experiences by default cause your spirit and your mind to expand, because you're able to extract wisdom and knowledge and place new meanings and reasonings behind life in general when you go through experiences. So when we talk about motherfucking Mars conjuncted Jupiter, that's how it will play out. So a person is passionately involved, and this is their intentions, to learn, to gain wisdom. So the moment you try to deflect that in some type of way, they could get angry at you, because you will make them feel like you're trying to tell them something that they already know. So a lot of times they may put their foot in their own mouth. They may speak too early. A lot of times they may be competitive with knowledge and wisdom and what they know and what someone else know. But on a broader scale, this makes a person very smart if they utilize this energy the right way, because they will be passionately involved into the things that they're getting educated about. And anytime somebody participate in that energy signature, makes them a little bit more broad-minded than the people that they are around in general. Mars conjuncting Jupiter, just have to make sure they're not utilizing that energy negatively amongst others, to be trying to look at people as stupid, because that'll just make you looked at as stupid, because you're in the energy signature of that frequency in general, regardless of how smart you are in whatever reality you lost in. You see what I'm saying? Now we're gonna get into Mars conjunct. We're gonna get into Mars conjunct Saturn. So if you got Mars conjunct Saturn, this makes a person passionately involved into how they want to see reality, aka how they gain structure in their life based upon a person, place, or thing. Also, when it comes to or a resource or a job. Also, where they place and receive boundaries and restrictions and limits. This is a person who's passionately involved in that. This is a person who may aggressively attack what they may perceive to be limits in their lives that's stopping them from doing what they actually passionately want to do. And also, when it comes to gaining structure in their life, these people don't see life no other way. They take all their passion, all their spirit, all their intuition, all their motivation, and put it in gaining stability in their life. And when we talk about Saturn, that's how we see reality in general. So all things you see in reality that's conducted on time and structure is like jobs, foundation, relatives, things you're relative to, business, infrastructure, law, government. So for the most part, this makes a person passionate. With Mars conjunct Saturn, this makes a person take all their willpower and passionately gain some type of stability in their lives. So these are the people that you will be around to have way more jobs than you. They might be able to help you get into a job and shit like that. These are the people who they see themselves as a failure if part of their goals ain't part of what everybody used in this reality to gain stability in their lives. And since we're in the reality of Saturn, it's telling everybody to gain stability in your lives based upon patience, practicality, scheduling, routine, day-to-day tasks. And all things that fall under that frequency vibration is things like jobs, foundation, homes, keeping up with things that sustain yourself in this lifetime. So Mars conjunct Saturn, these people are with that. And if they're around people, places, and things that prevent them from actually bringing their willpower into that, they feel like they're around the wrong crowd. They feel like they're around the wrong people, and the people that they're around is actually bringing them more down than actually climbing. Mars conjunct motherfucker Uranus. Now, if you got Mars conjunct Uranus, this makes a person passionately and sometimes forcefully want to be different or unique and original. So these people may not even necessarily be unique and original, but they force themselves in unique and original situations, or they force themselves to want to be seen unique and original. So these are the people that you would see kind of like go too far, and you could kind of look at them and be like, the only reason you're going too far is because you want to be seen as the person as going too far, other than just being a person that can go to extremes. You see what I'm saying? So that's these type of people. But for the most part, they like warlike. They're passionate about their position. So they might be passionate about opposing, changing, or rebelling against somebody else's goals, intent, willpowers, motivations, and desires. So keep that in mind also. You ever been around a super argumentative person? I mean, whatever you're trying to do, they always got something opposite to say. And you could be doing the best thing in the world that's going to get you $10 million in 1 month, right? But they still pick something in it like something you're doing wrong, or something that they can help you in when they probably can't do shit. This will probably be a person who got Mars conjunct Uranus, so keep that in mind. But it's a gift and a curse to everything. The gift right here is in a situation where you're able to utilize your passions and motivations and create something new in this world. Some type of new idea, some type of new creative measure, some type of new circumstance or situation that everybody else can associate with and create some type of organization around. And it'll be changing. Very revolutionary, right? even in business matters or whatever you're doing. Now, Mars conjunct Neptune. Now, if you're a person who got Mars conjunct Neptune, now here's the thing. When you got Mars conjunct Neptune, this is a person who's passionately involved in trying to will their dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination in this world. So this is what you have to understand. When we're talking about your dreams and imagination, everybody has those. But the better you know how to construct that, it can be seen in two ways. In a positive way, it can be seen as creativity. And in a negative way, your dreams and imagination can be seen as an illusion. So, you know, Mars can go into these two spectrums. So you need to understand that. So be careful what you're passionately involved in if you do have Mars conjunct Neptune. But whatever that you're into, you need to know that you're going to be willing in your dreams, imaginations, on way faster than anybody else. So make sure you're not around people, places, and things that got you wrapped up in an illusion to the point that people on your back and you're the only one manifesting all the bullshit. So even when it comes to arguments, people that you're fighting, you may be the main person that got to disconnect from people because you being around others, you giving off the energy to others that they need to disconnect from you. So you're creating this whole big illusion world around what you're passionately involved in. Things that you may be passionate about, you may create an illusion around it to the point that you're not even truly passionately involved in certain things that you're giving energy off to others. Now you got other people thinking that you're into certain things that you're not. So when they come bring these type of things and scenarios and conversations around you, now you want to argue and go against that because you didn't passionately got into another imagination and dream. So you got to temper yourself when you got Mars conjunct Neptune, but for the most part, you willing in dreams. You just need to know that. You just need to know how to handle each dream and imagination. So the point that it's not being an illusion, to the point you got other people looking at you like you just angry for no reason, but it's looking at as creativity. People seeing you as being one of the creative, a person who know how to bring their creativity into this existence. You know what I'm saying? And make things happen. Now you got, and then you got Mars conjunct Pluto. So if you got Mars conjunct in Pluto, here's the thing. And I'm going to have to do these separate because I didn't know the conjunctions was going to take so long. We're on 21 minutes. So I'm going to do all of them separate when we talk about the alignments. But now when we talk about Mars conjunct Pluto, now with Mars conjunct in Pluto, here's the actual thing that's going on right here. This is a person who's passionately involved in transforming their circumstances and situations. So that could be negative or positive. If you're stuck in a relationship or stuck in some type of job or stuck into some type of scenario or living condition, this is it'll play out very positive. But when it comes to destroying other people's lives, destroying the person you're in a relationship with lives, when it comes to burning something all the way down, destroying something or a business or whatever, as soon as you get hired, you fucked up the way the whole organization work. Now you transform in that way too, so you got to be careful of that. But for the most part, this is all about power and control. So you have a lot of sense of wanting to accomplish things in this life and take power and control over your situation. You just have to make sure you're not doing that onto others, trying to take too much power and control over others, and to the point that you're transforming them in a negative way. Try to temper that. Don't be too passive, but also don't try to take too much power and control and create this little balance between your intent, willpower, passion, and motivation, and your ability to try to transform these things, the scenarios in front of you in order to will your desires in your life. You know what I'm saying? These people with Mars conjunct Pluto will go through extremes, you know what I'm saying, to transform a circumstance to the point that you might kill somebody just because they're hindering you in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? It goes to extremes, so be careful of that. But for the most part, that's the Mars goddamn conjunctions. And we're going to do the other alignments and shit in this motherfucker. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. And I went live yesterday, but motherfucking YouTube was bugging. I kept trying to fucking go live. YouTube kept shutting this shit down. Talk about try again. I couldn't even watch no videos last night on YouTube. I couldn't even watch YouTube last night. So yeah, flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. Ee-hee.